the new WWE champion CM Punk teaming up with his SummerSlam opponent Cody Rhodes to take on Gunther and Sami Zayn and Uncle Teddy Special.
A tag team match.
That's right, player. So as we all know that Cody Rhodes was attacked by Gunther a couple weeks ago, and Sami Zayn was forced to defend the WWE Championship against. He was forced to defend the WWE Championship against CM Punk with a last-minute addition, and on top of that, he lost the championship. And we saw last week about the Sami Zayn crash out, and we got Cody Rhodes and CM Punk have an interaction on SmackDown where CM Punk essentially said that any place, anytime, same thing that Cody has said to him after WrestleMania. So now the match is official at SummerSlam. We are getting Cody Rhodes and CM Punk for the WWE Championship at SummerSlam, but this is the stop here. Now, Sami Zayn, we have not heard from. So in Sami Zayn, he's kind of seen directionless, so we don't know where he goes at this point when it comes to that. And we are speculating that Gunther will face Nick Aldis, the SmackDown general manager, who was reinstated last week. We did a video about that. I did a video about that last week, so you can make sure to check that out. So it's interesting here because in about the 2 weeks that we have to get some kind of substance between CM Punk and Cody Rhodes. It can't just be the whole, we kind of been missing each other. We kind of been going in separate directions. We finally meet. CM Punk even said, I think I was even avoiding you. And that's why I didn't say your name in his promo on SmackDown the other night. And like I said, there's something that needs to happen between these two. Because nobody is going to boo CM Punk against Cody. I don't think there's anybody that's going to boo Cody. Anybody who's going to boo any opponent Cody can have that's going to get booed. And if you want to see Cody Rhodes in the main event, this is who you want to see him in the main event with. Because Cody Rhodes, he's had, I don't want to say a rough going around, but Cody Rhodes has not been that interesting in the last few weeks. Well, actually almost a few years ever since he finished his story. And now we have this with CM Punk, the match that I think that everybody else wants to pretty much watch. So we have to get something here. I'm interested to see what kind of role Nick Aldis plays in this because he was attacked by Gunther on SmackDown. And I'm interested to see how we're going to get to that match of Nick Aldis and Gunther since he is the general manager of SmackDown and he's officially reinstated. But like I said, the key fact to this is we still have not heard from Sami Zayn. And not hearing from Sami Zayn is actually a big deal because we do not know what we're going to get from Sami Zayn. We saw Sami Zayn crash out, and that was about it. Still have not heard from Sami Zayn. So I'm going to go with Cody and Punk to win the tag team match. And let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know what you guys are predicting. Let me know what you guys think what kind of shenanigans they're going to be. I'm very interested to see everybody's point of view on this. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. All right, so next up is the match I'm looking forward to probably the most for Saturday Night's main event, and that is the Women's Tag Team Championship match as Fatal Influence, Laney Reed, and Fallon Henley, they're going to challenge for the W Tag Team Championships against Brie Bella and Paige. And Fallon Henley, she sat down with Cody, and she had a couple interesting things to say about JC Jane and Laney Reed. So we're going to hear what Fallon had to say. Fair use.
Together, 10 years ago at this point, at the same place. So we've known each other our entire careers.
Yeah.
So that helps in us being a unit and working together and being cohesive. And we brought Laney in, and she's just a sponge. She's always learning. She's always listening. She takes what we say and she uses it. And all together, we're all our different selves, our individual selves, but we all just work so well together. And I mean, clearly you can see.
All right. So that was Fallon Henley and her comments about her teammates, Laney Reed and JC Jane. And you guys know how I feel about Fatal Influence. I've been a JC Jane fan since day one. And when they had Jasmine Nix involved, I never really see much improvement from Jasmine Nix in particular. Uh, I just didn't see it. And then when they were trying to seem like they were trying to branch Jasmine off, but it was only because she was not renewing her contract and they brought Lainey in. Lainey was somebody who I thought was interesting because she made her, I guess maybe you could say her NXT TV debut, because I know she was big on Level Up and the fans actually loved her on Level Up. But she had that match with JC a pretty much when she first debuts on NXT TV. And they have this big, and ever since then, she was pretty much trying to be on Fatal Influence. And you guys know how I feel about NXT's women's division. I don't know what kind of super soldier serum they're feeding the women down there, but the women down there are all excellent. You know, they knock it out the park every time. And a lot of them come in with very to little no wrestling experience, and they are fantastic at what they do. And Lainey Reed is no different than them at all. Lainey Reed, she puts on bangers herself. You know, she's fresh to the business, as Fallon said. She's a sponge, but she is really good, and she's only going to continue to get better. And I am a big fan of Lainey Reed. I have high hopes for all three of these women. We'll get to JC Jane a little bit later, but I do think that this probably is about to be their time to shine because, for example, we know that Paige and Brie Bella, they had their championship run, and their run has been pretty much, I don't want to say lackluster because they defended the championships pretty often, and they've had a lot of victories. But the thing with those two is that every time they win, it seems to essentially be by at the skin of their teeth, roll-ups, and they're painting them as these veterans, and they're using their veteran instincts to win. So everything is essentially a roll-up. Even in one-on-one matches, when Paige beat JC in London, it was a roll-up, and that's how they've been trying to sneaking by. And I talked about Fanatic Fest, and Nikki Bella has been confirmed for Fanatics Fest. And she's also said that she's pretty much out her cast or walking boot. So maybe she comes in and evens the odds in this match. But I'm going to go with I'm going to go with Fatal Influence finally winning the W Tag Team Championship. And I cannot wait because I have high hopes for all three of these women. I think they're all excellent. I've been a Fallon Henley fan for a long time as well. JC Jane, day one. Lainey Reed, first time I saw her when she fought JC Jane for the NXT Championship on TV, I thought she was great. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. And let me know what you guys think is going to happen. Will we see Nikki Bella? Will we see Fatal Influence finally get their moment at Madison Square Garden? So let me know what you guys think. So this is interesting. So we have Danhausen. He will take on JD McDonough. This is now a no disqualification match. Now, Danhausen, I keep talking about how I had no expectations for him on the main roster when he debuted. None whatsoever. I thought it was essentially going to be a joke, but it has been further from a joke because he's been a big deal on WWE television, and the fans actually love him, and he's made a very big impact. And it's all salute. And also, it doesn't hurt him that the Knicks won the championship after he uncursed them and cursed the Cavaliers. So salute to that. So we have that, and what he's done with the Judgment Day has actually been fun. Like he cursed Liv Morgan. She tried to get Danhausen to curse Obafemi for Dom. Dom and JD, they go give him some money. He takes the money and doesn't give it back. Then he curses Liv at King and Queen of the Ring. Well, Night of Champions. He curses Liv. And then he curses JD, who electrocutes himself immediately. And then he curses Dom and calls Dom his gauntlet match against Javon Evans on Raw Monday night. So this has been really fun. And it's going to be interesting watching this because of this being in Madison Square Garden. You know, Danhausen is going to get an amazing reaction because of what went on with the Knicks and his role in them winning a championship, kayfabe or not. He was essentially one of the poster childs for the Knicks during their championship run. So Madison Square Garden is going to love Danhausen. And we already know that Fanatics Fest involvement. We do know that the Knicks will be there. Jalen Brunson is supposed to have an interaction with Roman Reigns, but we do know most of the team should still be in attendance. I know Kat's going to be there. So this could be a lot of fun, especially with the no disqualification stipulation. So I'm going to go with Danhausen to win this match. I think everybody's pretty much set in stone and should agree with me. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know what you guys think kind of foolishness is going to happen in this match. So let me know what you guys think. All right. So next up, we have Bayley will take on Lyra Valkyria. Now, this match is getting interesting as well. Bayley and Lyra, they lost their W Tag Team Championship match to Brie Bella and Paige on the June 22nd episode of Raw. And after that, it was essentially a crash out for Lyra Valkyria on Bayley. And I talked about this last week that Lyra Valkyria's promo was phenomenal. It was absolutely phenomenal. There's nothing more that you could ask for when you watch that promo that she had, well, that backstage vignette that she had. There's nothing more you can ask for. That promo was fantastic. And there's nothing more you can ask for because, for example, like Lyra Valkyria, you know, she's been given a lot. You know, she's been the Intercontinental, the WIC champion. She had that one-day tag team championship run with Becky Lynch. But Lyra Valkyria, she's been a constant on WWE television since she's been on the main roster. And a lot of people haven't really taken to her because of the babyface stuff, trying to be perfect and the things she has to say and things like that. But Lyra Valkyria, she does get it done in the ring. And a lot of people, they have feelings towards Bayley, the way Bayley's been underutilized. And you guys know how I feel that Bayley, about 10 years, Bayley's been there for, 12, 13 years on the main roster for 10. And what else is there for her to do? You know, Bayley's done everything. There's nothing more that she can do. And I talked about in the video from last week where Mercedes Moné, she teased Bayley in a Wrestle Dream poster, and we have not got confirmation about Bayley re-signing with WWE. We haven't heard anything about that. So I think that this is a way for them to write Bayley off TV and write her off until her contract expires. Because WWE has not been shy about writing you off TV earlier than expected, so you can actually move on. So they can actually move on. There's nothing else that they're going to do. So they'll let you sit home for the last couple months of your contract, and they've done that with Ricochet, for example. And I don't think Bayley will be any different because I do not think Bayley will resign with the company. I think Bayley is AEW bound. I really do. So I personally think when it comes to this match, I do not think that this match is going to have a finish. I think this is going to be a disqualification. And I think that we'll get this culminated at SummerSlam between these two because this has been fantastic. They really have. Like, you know, Bayley was Lyra, she was telling Bayley that she's the worst of the four horsewomen, all of her complaining and things like that. I thought Lyra has delivered in both of these promos that she's had in the last in her last two times on TV. And I'm loving the broken crash out dirty look for Lyra. It works because it's money. It really is. And I'm looking forward to this a lot to see what we get from here. But like I said, I do not think we're going to finish here at all. But I'm going to go with Lyra Valkyria to get disqualified in this match, and we get the rubber match at SummerSlam. And this will write Bayley essentially off WWE TV. So we'll see if we get that at SummerSlam. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let me know what you guys if you love what Lyra's doing. Let me know if you think Bayley's leaving for AEW. Let me know